Welcome to Next Steps, a podcast from Blackhawk Church in Madison, Wisconsin, where together we'll take next steps to grow in our relationship with Christ, to be formed into the kind of people He's created us to be, and to better love and serve those around us. Let's jump in.
All right. Well, welcome everyone. We're so glad to have you here. We are doing a short run of the Next Steps podcast here for our Made for More message series. So we are going to be in our final episode here of 4 episodes talking about knowing ourselves, knowing God, investing with our resources, and investing with our time. So I'll be your host today. My name's Veronica. I'm on staff with Blackhawk Church on our spiritual formation team, and I oversee our Bible study and our courses and occasionally get to do fun things like host this podcast. And today we're going to be talking about investing with your time, and I'm joined by my friend Scott. So Scott, thank you for being here. Can you tell the people a little bit about yourself?
Sure. My name is Scott Heller. I am 72 years old.
All right.
I was born in Sheboygan, Wisconsin, and went to college at UW-La Crosse, and I met my wife there. We were married shortly thereafter, like 6 months, and we're married 45 years. And we were blessed to have 4 children, and I am now blessed to have 7 grandchildren.
Wow-wee.
So, yeah, that takes up a lot of my time, but I enjoy every minute of it.
Yeah, that's sweet. My husband and I also got married shortly after college. I think it was about a year after he graduated from college and 6 months after I graduated. So we have that in common.
Great.
We've only been married 17 years, though, so a little bit shorter timeline.
Yeah. Well, it goes by fast, so enjoy every minute of it. That's what I tell young couples, and make sure you take time for yourselves and enjoy life and take God's blessings that He's giving you and just be thankful for those blessings. Yeah,
it's good advice. So I met you a few years ago. How did you end up at Blackhawk?
So, that's a little interesting. So I've been a Catholic for 60 years. My wife and family grew up Catholic, and after, it was about 6 years ago that my wife said, I'd really like to get something more out of church. We go to church every Sunday and we pray, but we just really recited prayers. Mm-hmm. So we came to Blackhawk at that time, and we were in the gymnasium in Fitchburg, and really enjoyed the message that we were hearing. And we decided that we would make the switch. Well, unfortunately, shortly thereafter, she got cancer and passed. So then I was mixed between going back to Catholicism or, go full into Blackhawk and see what they have to offer. And so I talked to my priest at the Catholic Church, and I really didn't get the chance to talk to anybody at Blackhawk until I attended by myself. I sat in the back and just cried my eyes out. And fortunately, Pastor Daniel came up and after service and put his hand on my shoulder, and he said, "Can we pray?" He didn't ask what was wrong. He just said, "Can we pray?" Yeah. And he was so warming and so genuine. And after we prayed, he said, "How can I help you?" And so he talked about some grief counseling that he could help me with. Sure. And different activities they had here at Blackhawk. But it took me a while to get involved here, probably 2 years. Yeah. But all along, I was absorbing so much and learning about Jesus that I just wanted more. Yeah.
I mean, it's understandable that it would take some time to kind of really get into the activities of a church in a time of grief. I mean, it's a challenging season. I mean, I can't even imagine losing a spouse, but I've lost a parent, and it's really tough. So
it's traumatic.
Losing someone in your family that you love is really hard. So.
Right. Yeah. But Father Daniel.
Yeah,
sorry, Pat. Sorry. He just took me by the hand, and every Sunday now we hug, and we really enjoy each other's companies. I've even let him take me out on the golf course, and he's a pretty good golfer.
Okay. Honestly, all of the things that you're saying about Daniel sound accurate. Yeah. I've heard, I haven't seen his golf skills firsthand, but I've heard that they're pretty good.
Yes, they are.
And offering to pray with someone, that is right up his alley. So
Right.
Yeah. Well, excellent. Okay, so you were around Blackhawk for a little while. You were learning, then you kind of dove in. One of the things that I'm curious about is, we started this series by talking about knowing God. So what are some ways that you have grown in your relationship with God since you've been either through your whole life or since you've been coming to Blackhawk?
Yeah, good question. So as a Catholic, I said the Hail Mary and the Our Father, every Sunday. But I just said it. I didn't pray
really
it.
Think about it.
Yeah, exactly. You just said the words. And now that I'm at Blackhawk, and I never really prayed before outside of the service. And now that I've learned God, I talk to him in the morning. I'll be out on the golf course, as I do a lot of, one of my pastimes. I'll be out on a hole, and it's just beautiful. I'll say, thank you, God, for the blue sky, the green grass. My friends, I've even actually brought them together with me to pray with me. Wow. And, because we're so blessed. Even though I've had tragedies in my life, I'm still blessed.
Yeah.
So I continue to pray in the morning and at night, which I've never done before.
Oh, okay. That's new?
Yes, very much so. And I'm involved in the alongside group, so I'm praying for my person that I'm working with, and so my prayers are normally thanking God for what I have and trying to help the people that I'm around and working with.
Yeah. So would you say prayer is one of the main ways that you've grown your relationship with God?
Yes, that's the biggest way, and God has helped me through the grief period and the mourning, and has given me, my counselor said, get involved. You need to find something to do with your time. And I finally took the first step. I think it was the first time I met you, Veronica. And that goes back probably 4 years ago.
Yeah, I think 3. I think it's 3, yeah.
Okay. But, and I've seen you all the time now, and it's great to have that face there. And so I have learned from putting myself out there, there's a lot of good things that can come from it.
Yeah. It's so interesting. I led a prayer course a while back, and one of the things that we talk about in that course is praying written prayers, like some of the Catholic prayers, some of the just more liturgical prayers, or even just prayers that are written down from other, from church history. And it's so interesting hearing people's discussions on that, because you've got people like you that will say, I've grown up in a Catholic church. I said these prayers all the time, but I never really prayed them. I just said them, and I didn't know what I was saying. Like, I didn't really think about what I was saying or what I was praying. And then we've got a lot of other people that come from sort of the more conversational prayer tradition of like just talking to God all the time. But sometimes, I know this was true for me. I went through a period of grief and struggle where it was hard to say my own prayers. Like, I could not. It wasn't that I was angry with God, but I just I felt so sad. I couldn't ask him for anything. I didn't know what to say to him. And having some written prayers, like some more book from the Book of Common Prayer, or even just praying through some of the Psalms was so helpful to have that as a fallback when I couldn't form my own prayers. But I think just prayer is an incredible way to grow your relationship with God, to kind of really praise him for his character. Like you said, thank him for his gifts, and sit and listen to what he might have for you or what he wants for you. So yeah.
So if I'm fortunate to be up in heaven in the future, I used to pray that I couldn't wait to get there to be with my wife and my daughter. I lost a daughter when she was 4 years old.
Yeah.
And so, but now since I've been praying, I've learned I want to meet Jesus. I want to see what that's like.
Yeah.
And then Jesus can introduce me to the rest of my family that's up there.
It's a beautiful image. I had a friend that used to say, I told her one time about when I was a little kid and I went to Disneyland. And when I walked in, Mickey Mouse was right there. And I felt like he was waiting for me to get there. Like Mickey Mouse was there for me. And no, as an adult, I'm like, Mickey Mouse is there all the time. There's tons of people out there being that Mickey Mouse. But one of my friends, she said, you know what? That's like Jesus. He's waiting for us in our life and in heaven. And I was like, oh, my word, you just made my Disneyland story so much more spiritual.
Yes.
But isn't it true just like, wow, Jesus wants to be with us. And that is an incredible reminder sometimes.
Exactly.
Okay, so we're turning around a little bit here. So that's about you knowing God, but we're going to talk about knowing yourself, and we're eventually going to get to investing your time. So Tiffany introduced us to the shape tool a few weeks ago. So I'm curious, how has thinking about the shape tool or those dimensions, for a reminder, it's spiritual gifts, heart, abilities, personality, and experiences, helped you understand what invitation God has for you right now?
Okay. Well, it's kind of funny because I had to ask you what the shape tool was.
I mean,
even though I was at the 4:30 service here on Sunday when Tiffany introduced it.
Well, her sermon was about a lot of things. So the tool was a part of it, but there was more to it. Yeah.
So then after you explained it to me, I was delighted to, get online and go through the shape tool. And it really took who I am and basically, highlighted the areas of my strength, my heart, my emotions, the abilities that I have, and I was gifted with when I was, going through my work career. God always seemed to put me in the right place at the right time. I started out as a Phi Ed teacher and then went into manufacturing, and my mother told me, Scott, you don't know anything about manufacturing. And I had some great trainers, and I learned a lot, and I grew in several different companies from, a maintenance man to a plant manager. And then later on in my career to vice president of operations. And so God always seemed to be there. And I look back at that, and I just, for someone that came from Sheboygan, I'm not dissing people from Sheboygan, but...
I don't think I know anybody from Sheboygan except you, so I probably do, and I just don't know they're from Sheboygan. I don't know anything about it.
So, I really felt like I've had a successful career, and Jesus has led me that way. And now, recently, since I've joined Blackhawk, I've gotten the spiritual background and understanding. And we were talking about prayer a little bit before, and now at night, I do say the Hail Mary, and I do say the Our Father, but I say it word by word, and I understand it, and I just, that's the way I end my prayers at night.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
So,
yeah.
Thank you.
Isn't it? I mean, I think it's just lovely how God takes everything in our life, like you said, like all of your Catholic background, all of your experiences, your relationships, your work experience, and kind of brings them together and sort of forms them into new ways and new opportunities all throughout our life, and kind of keeps asking us and inviting us to go a little bit deeper or try something new or serve him in a different way. I think when you can look back over time and see how God has been faithful in those moments and where he's opened doors for you, it helps you kind of see the next one a little bit more clearly.
Right, right. So true, because, I started volunteering here at Blackhawk, and one thing led to another, and now I have to watch out for my calendar because I have a lot of Blackhawk things on my calendar.
Well, I'm glad you said yes to this Blackhawk thing, so you didn't have to.
No.
So what are some things that are bringing you joy these days?
So it was difficult to experience any joy in the past 4 years, but and I've been asked that question a lot, and for the first couple of years, I just said, the joy is out of my life. I just don't have that anymore. Yeah. But by praying to Jesus and asking Him where my next journey is, and now that I've been involved with Alpha here at Blackhawk and B Kids and alongside, this is my journey. And I get joy in, teaching the kids on Sunday at B Kids and all the questions that are asked at Alpha. Alpha isn't typically a one-time deal for most people, but I'm on my 4th session. I'm cooking for it beforehand. And it's just a great way for people to ask questions that they're maybe concerned about asking. Yeah. And it's a safe environment. So I'm finding joy in that, and I'm focusing on my kids and my grandkids. Yeah. My wife and I always took them on a vacation yearly, and so I've continued to do that.
Aww,
and just
nice.
seeing I've got grandkids in Michigan, and the rest are here in Madison, but just seeing them to get together and holding hands and walking, and I look up at the sky and go, thank you, God. Yeah. Thank you for giving me this opportunity to experience this.
Yeah. So did you guys already take your vacation for this year, or is it upcoming?
We are actually going on a cruise over Thanksgiving.
Wow. So, where are you going?
Down to the Caribbean, someplace warm.
So fun. Yeah.
Yes. And the kids love the water, so we'll just be going on the boat. We'll be on the pools, and during the shore days, we'll be on the beach.
What a joy.
Yes, and it's just so fun to watch the kids. I've got a 15-year-old grandson, and he'll get down on his hands and knees with the 3-year-old and build sandcastles. And that's what brings me joy. It's emotional to see that.
I bet. So. Yeah. Well, you mentioned some of them, but one of the reasons that I asked you about this episode was because like you said, I think it was less than 3. I haven't even been on staff for 3 years yet. So it's less than 3 years ago that I met you.
Okay.
And in that time, you went from sort of tentatively coming in the door for a course to just jumping right in. And I think every time I turn a corner, you're there serving in some capacity in B Kids or in Alpha or something like that. So what are some of the ways that you invest at the church or outside the church with your actions? So
I really love study day. The first time I didn't know too much about it, so I just signed up for 2 one-hour shifts to get my feet wet. And the next year I found myself cooking brats and hamburgers on the Friday night before. And then Saturday I signed up for the whole shift just to serve them. It's so exhilarating to see these young college students come in and just be thankful for the food that we're providing them and the space that they have here. Whether or not it's playing ping pong or basketball, they're here as part of the Blackhawk community. Yeah. And it's just so fulfilling for me to help serve on those days. I also, as I mentioned before, I'm in alongside, and that is where I mentor someone that is going through some difficult times. And I hope my experience that I've had and God has given me. I've been a teacher, as I mentioned, young on, but I've taught people all my life in manufacturing and trained people. So it's just the alongside thing was something that I felt that I also had the difficulties in my life that I can share with them and hopefully help them get better and improve. And your goal is for them to say, you know what, Scott? This has been great, but I don't need you anymore. So, I'm looking forward to those days. And let's see, what else have I jumped into?
You said B Kids. You said with
B Kids, yeah, on Sunday mornings. I love teaching the kids, and I'm amazed at how educated these young students are, about how much they know about the Bible. I didn't start reading the Bible till I was 68 or 69. These kids know where the verses are in the Bible, and we watch a video, and, they talk about it, and some are so outgoing, and there's some that are really quiet, but if you work with them, they'll answer your questions. You got to pull some things out of them, but I try to make sure everybody stays involved. So that's B Kids. I also, in a non-Blackhawk capacity, I do some daycare on Thursdays for a mother's organization. Where the mothers meet at Blackhawk, and then
the MOPS group.
Yes.
Oh no, I'm sorry. Their name is Momco now.
Momco. Yeah.
MOPS is the old name. Jeez.
Yeah. So I volunteer for that. Those are a younger age group. So I'm with the 2 and 3 year olds, and they're so cute.
Anytime you want my 3-year-old, you can have him.
That's a great age.
Yeah,
They're
it is.
Just
it's
starting
really sweet. They're so funny.
Yeah. I think there was one other area.
Alpha. You do the dinner for Alpha?
I do the dinner. I come in and cook. We come in at 4:00, prepare a nice little meal for them. I'm not the head chef. I'm fortunate to have, Karen. She's a great chef, and she tells us what to do. And I've chopped a lot of vegetables. And so we provide a nice meal for them. And then I'm also one of the lead discussion persons. We break down into smaller groups. And that's a time for them to ask questions and things that you can't ask on a Sunday or things like that. And we have people in there that are going through some very difficult times. We have people in there. I asked one young lady, I said, so tell me, you don't believe in God, but why are you here? And she goes, my mother sent me to this course to try to get a better understanding of Jesus. And so I think it was really enlightening for her. And hopefully, she'll take that next step.
Yeah.
Another thing that Father Dan... Boy, when am I going to leave that one?
I don't know, but I'm going to pick it up now. I'm going to call him Father Daniel now.
Pastor Daniel asked me when I was ready for the next step. When are you ready for the next? And I just didn't feel like I was. And I didn't know what that next step was.
Sure.
And I was at an Alpha class, and Nikki Gumbel, the commentator, talked about Jesus. Everybody knows Jesus. Everybody knows him in their mind.
Yeah.
But you have to have Jesus in your heart. And at that time, I just felt a calming coming over me through my head, my shoulders, and in my heart. I just felt so relaxed.
Yeah.
And I felt Jesus come into my heart at that time. And I couldn't wait for the next Sunday service to see Pastor Daniel and say, I'm ready. I'm ready for the next step.
Yeah.
And he said, are you ready for baptism? I said, absolutely.
All right.
So I was baptized last summer.
Oh, incredible.
Just a great experience. And so I feel like I really have Jesus here where I never had him before.
Yeah. Oh, that's it's just such a special feeling and realization.
It really is.
Yeah.
And without Blackhawk and I did have someone that walked alongside with me when I was going through my grief.
Yeah.
And he said, well, don't you think that your wife, Mary Beth, maybe had some help bringing you to this stage of your life to join Blackhawk and to get involved? And it was very true.
Yeah.
It helped me find my way, and she started, and now I'm taking up where she left off, and that's one of the things that I think Jesus and God has in mind for me, to help other people, to volunteer And, that's one of the things that came out in the Shapes program, that is one of my strengths.
Yeah.
And I enjoy doing it, and it gives me an opportunity. I've got a great nucleus of support at home with friends and neighbors, but this is a different kind of support. And so I really feel welcome, and everybody is so welcoming here. I remember probably the fourth or fifth service, I sat in the back and I was crying, and the people in front of me turned around and said, "Can we give you a hug? We know you're going through some difficult times. Whatever it is, know we're here for you." And that's what the Blackhawk people are all about.
Yeah.
So it's really special.
Yeah. Okay, so you alluded to it a little bit, but what are some things you've learned about yourself, God, or others through serving?
God has put me in this position, I believe, to serve and lead other people. And I found out that, of course, all my life, I was in that position kind of as a mentor, or in my position at a couple different companies that I owned. And God has given me that ability to communicate with people, and to share in their joy when I see successes in them. Especially, when I volunteer with the Bee Kids, to see their faces light up. And in Alpha, to hear the people say, "I'm coming back next week. I really enjoyed this." Or, I can't believe our 8 weeks is over. It's ended. And we always tell them there'll be another session. So I just feel Jesus is working through me on this earth to help those people, and even the less fortunate. And I'll tell a quick story here, even though it was over 2 days. I was visiting my daughter up in Michigan, and took the train because I just don't like driving through Chicago anymore. And there was a gentleman on the train that said, "Hey, where are you going?" And I said, "I'm going to Madison." He says, "Oh, so am I. Can you help me? I've got 5 bags. I've been away for a while." "Sure, no problem." And, I'm really hungry. Is there anything you can do? And I said, "Sure, here's $20. Go to the restaurant, get yourself to eat." So we get to the bus station where I'm hauling all these bags, and, I don't have a bus ticket. So I helped him out with a bus ticket. I ended up helping him out with a hotel overnight. I helped him out getting on the bus to his next destination. And, it was... Jesus put me there to help him, and I had the resources to help him, and I didn't mind it. So, I just felt blessed to be able to do that.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. So if you were talking to someone who was in your shoes a few years ago, that they've been kind of around Blackhawk, but they're not really sure they're ready to take a next step, but they sense God asking them to step in and serve, but they're just not quite sure where to start, what would you tell them?
I would tell them 2 things. First of all, try it out on study day. It's a way to interact with other Blackhawk people. And it's a 1-hour commitment. You can try it out, or a 2 or 3 hour commitment, and see if that is something that you enjoy, and you get a sense of feeling for it. I see other people now that have served with me at Blackhawk. Hey, the brat guy, So, you get that relationship with other people from Blackhawk. And that's kind of a non-committal. You just, test the water. If you want to go one step further, I would definitely recommend Alpha. Alpha is such a way to get together in small groups and talk about other people's beliefs and thoughts, and what they're thinking about Blackhawk, and why they're coming to Blackhawk, and is Jesus really real? Did he really arise from the dead? And we get into some pretty in-depth conversations. My wife passed on Easter Sunday, and I always say she rose with the best. So, and I couldn't have said that 2 years ago. But I'm growing in my faith, and Jesus is right there next to me, helping me along the way. So I would say between, volunteer and, even on the Sunday that we don't have services, and it's
Love Madison.
Love Madison, yeah. That's a good way to get involved and meet people. I think that's the biggest thing is, getting yourself testing the waters with people in this church, and I think anyone will find it so welcoming.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad to hear that as someone who works for the church.
Well, and you're the first person that I really met in the first Bible study that I came to. Yeah. And I remember you from that day on.
Yeah, it was, I loved, that was a great course. It was a really special group. So I remember most of the people from that group, I think. So, well, thank you so much for coming and talking with me today. I really appreciate you, Scott, both, like you said, just for just all the great interactions we've had since that one course that we spent together, and for all the ways that you serve. I truly was like, wait, Scott is here? Oh, Scott is there? Scott is everywhere. Like, I feel like I just see you everywhere. So, so thank you for all that you do for our church. You really are a blessing to us too. As much as we've been a blessing to you, you have also been a blessing to us. And you said yes to this podcast. So thanks for joining and sharing a little bit of your story. We're so grateful for you. Oh,
thank you so much for having me on. I've really enjoyed it. And once again, it's another way for me to grow in Jesus' love and communicate with my fellow people at Blackhawk.
Yeah. And for anyone out there who's listening, who's interested in serving, we do have a lot of one-time serving opportunities. Like you mentioned, with Study Day, we've got other options as well. We always have opportunities listed on our webpage, and you can stop by the Next Steps area at any of our sites to fill out a Say Hello card with a serve option for you.
A couple of fun activity serve options was we did Hippity Hoppity.
The Hippity Hoppity Hunt.
And I served hot chocolate there, and it was just a wonderful day seeing all the kids. We also did, what was the other one? Oh, Halloween. Trunk or treat. Yeah. I dressed up and nobody knew who I was.
Who were you?
I was serving hot chocolate, and I had different, hair. I had a wig on.
Oh, I see. I thought you meant they didn't know what your costume was. They didn't recognize you because you were in a costume. I got you.
Yeah. So that's just a quick 1 hour day.
That's true. Those are great.
4 hours of serving and great activities that the Blackhawk puts on.
Yeah. Great suggestions. See, I knew I had you on for a reason. All right. Thanks, everybody. We will see you next time. This is our last episode for this series, but we've got more coming up for you in the fall. So we'll talk to you soon.